wanted to make a video answering some questions people had regarding the footwork. In the first episode, we talked about keeping your feet in line with your target. That's particularly helpful if you're a beginner or you're trying to throw a very accurate shot. People have brought up the question of how come you see the pros on a lot of their drives step across and away from their target rather than keeping their feet in line with the target. I answered that question briefly within another episode that we had, but I wanted to address it a little more expressly here.
So in the first episode, we talked about footwork. Footwork is really important. It sets up our throw in a couple different ways. When we talked about it on the first episode, what we had discussed was getting the feet to line up with our target. Now that was in reference to, if you're a beginner, for accuracy's sake, having your feet lined up towards the target is going to help you stay within that straight line and hit your line a little more consistently. People have brought up that you watch the pros and they usually start on the back right of a tee and will cross over towards the left, crossing over here with their left foot, but reaching straight back here, and the feet are in a different line than the arm. I made reference to this in one of the other videos, but wanted to discuss it further. The reason they do that is to gain more power. If I turn like this, I can only get my hips turned so far. So I'm limiting how much power I really have in my throw. If I want to maximize the power, I need to turn my hips more. We've talked a lot about how power comes from the hips and the core. So if I want to maximize that, I'm going to try turning my hips further for my throw and then coming through. So everything we've talked about with the arm is true with the regards to the line. If my line is straight towards the camera here, even if I step across here, my arm is still going to be 180 degrees in relation to the camera, and I'm going to come through regardless of my foot position, but I'm able to turn my hips more. And when you do it, you will feel more power. You'll be able to throw it further. The reason we went over having the feet in line with your target is that accuracy is going to be better, and you're going to be more consistent with your throws if your feet are in line with the target. So if you're talking about a nice tunnel shot, something you need to hit really accurately, or an up shot where you don't need a lot of power, don't cross over here to gain power for your hips because you don't need that extra power. You're more interested in accuracy right towards your target. And if you watch the pros, they do exactly that. On a lot of their up shots, they're not stepping across here unless they're really trying to power the disc. Oftentimes they're not even reaching back all the way. You watch them, sometimes they even keep the arm bent. They may not reach all the way back because they're trying to do more of a touch shot. They don't need such a big winding reach back to gain that power. So think about, what is your purpose with the shot? Do you need distance and power with not a lot of accuracy? Is there a nice wide open fairway? Or do you have a simple tunnel shot where you need consistency? That will dictate how you step, how your footwork is going to be. Plan that out ahead of time. Do a practice step through. Make sure your arm is always 180 degrees in relation to your target, and make sure you're coming through your body on that straight line so that you gain consistency either way.
So keep the questions coming. If we're talking about something that doesn't make sense, I want to try to clarify for those, because if it doesn't make sense to you, there's probably other people who don't quite grasp what I'm trying to say or maybe need further information regarding that. So keep the questions coming. Any suggestions, thoughts, let me know. Thanks for joining us.